Welcome to the Tech Show. I'm Sonia Gavankar, and this week we look at work-from-home tech that could help save your sanity. We talk to a CEO about touchless communication, and another gadget tries to take my money. All that and more coming up on the Tech Show. Now it's time for the latest. MIT has designed a robot with a custom UVC light that is capable of disinfecting the floor of a 4,000 square foot warehouse in only half an hour. And it could one day be used to clean your local grocery store or school, according to a report by CNN. COVID-19 mainly spreads via airborne transmission, and it is capable of remaining on surfaces for several days. With states across the U.S. reporting a surge in cases and no concrete timetable for a possible vaccine, there is currently no near-term end to the pandemic. That leaves schools and supermarkets looking for solutions to effectively disinfect areas. While household cleaner solutions are able to reduce the spread of the virus, an autonomous robot capable of quickly and efficiently cleaning large areas such as warehouses or grocery stores could prove to be essential. The researchers used the base of one of Ava Robotics' mobile robots and modified it with a custom UVC light fixture. UVC light has proven effective at killing bacteria and viruses on surfaces, the researchers said. However, it is harmful to humans. The robot was built to be autonomous without the need of any direct supervision or interaction. So, where can I get one? And in I Still Don't Get How Zoom Works news, a municipal councilor in northern Spain has offered to resign after inadvertently broadcasting video of himself showering during an online council meeting that was being live streamed. Earlier this month, councilors in Torrelavega gathered online to hash out some of the latest issues facing the municipality of about 52,000 people. Following the protocols put in place as the coronavirus tightened its grip on Spain, half a dozen councilors dialed into the video chat at 8 a.m., streaming it online for journalists and residents. As the meeting stretched past midday, Bernardo Bustillo, who works part-time with the municipality, began to fret that he wouldn't have time to shower and shuttle his daughter to her commitments before heading to his other job as a swim instructor. He came up with what seemed to him as the perfect solution to multitask, calling the computer into the bathroom and minimizing the chat screen so that he could listen in on the meeting as he showered. But like a 2020 specific anxiety dream, as his colleagues considered plans to clean up a local river, an image of him showering appeared at the bottom left of the screen, much of it blurred by a pane of frosted glass. The sound of running water drowned out the constant ringing of his mobile phone as a frenetic colleague tried to warn him that the camera was still rolling. As video of the incident made its rounds online, Bustillo took to social media saying he was completely at peace with what had transpired. He stressed that it had been an innocent accident, a failure of technology know-how, rather than anything nefarious. Bustillo chalked up the incident to the pandemic-era struggle of balancing remote work with parenting. Anecdotes of this kind have become commonplace in recent weeks thanks to the boom in teleworking, he said, apologizing to anyone who might have been upset by the images. We'll be back in 30 seconds.
Over 70 years of experience in heart and aviation, the members of the Association of Flight Attendants know the realities of the aircraft cabin better than anyone. We don't just serve drinks, we save lives. We don't just negotiate contracts, we move major policy issues like the smoking ban, no knives on planes, clean water, and safe food on board. The air we breathe matters, and we stop the spraying of poisonous pesticides. The Association of Flight Attendants. Stronger together, better together.
While the pandemic has impacted life and travel plans for everyone, summer is finally here, and many families are in search of a convenient trip to get out, enjoy some fun, and a safe way to reclaim their family travel memories. Here to discuss current travel trends is the world-renowned travel mom, Emily Kaufman. And she's teaming up with Great Wolf Lodge to discuss what every family should consider when planning a safe vacation. Welcome, Emily.
We're seeing two trends this summer, and none of them are really new. We're seeing a reclaiming of the staycation because people want to stick close to home, and also the resurgence of the Great American Family Road Trip. And the good news is that when the time is right and people are ready, there are 17 U.S.-based Great Wolf Lodges, with 11 of them currently open, that are waiting for you with wide open, socially distanced arms. My concerns are the safety and well-being of everyone, and Great Wolf Resorts has addressed all of those by implementing their Paw Pledge program. They teamed up with experts, health authorities, and public officials to create the safest environment possible so you can have fun while you're playing. They're doing things like implementing social distancing. They've got markers throughout the resort. They're limiting capacity to just 50% occupancy, so everyone is not on top of one another. Masks are strongly encouraged, even required at some of their properties, and they're constantly disinfecting and sanitizing. They're also offering a terrific way to stretch your travel dollar with the Sunshine Sale. If you book before July 12th for travel through August 30th, you can save up to 20% at greatwolf.com. Also, you can have peace of mind knowing that should your plans change, you can cancel without any kind of penalty, making it an even better way to plan a family vacation. We have all been together throughout this quarantine at home. Whether you're working from home or going to school from home, Great Wolf Lodge gives you the opportunity to disconnect from all that technology and simply have fun as a family. To learn more about all that's going on at Great Wolf Lodge, visit greatwolf.com. I'm Emily Kaufman, the Travel Mom.
Thanks, Emily. We've got new communications for frontline workers coming up later in the show, but right now we're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Did the lockdown happen in your city before you were able to lock down a relationship? Here's a solution for COVID dating in this week's App Tech.
There's a new dating app on the scene, created just for these pandemic times.
Quarantine Together is an app that connects people around the world through text message.
No photos to swipe or profiles to like. Instead, just simple text messaging.
Here's an experience where people can actually chat with one another without judgment. So if some folks have been signing up and saying, like, I could just be myself through this. This is different. I've never seen something like this.
But before you're matched with someone, an important, relevant question is asked.
We send you a text to see if you washed your hands. And if you reply back that you did wash your hands, we match you with someone. And then we send a link to donate to organizations that are funding for PPE and other healthcare materials.
Created for fun as more of a side project by two friends stuck at home in the US, the app has taken off since launching in mid-March.
We have about 8,000 daily active users, and then we have much more on the wait list. You know, my friend and I, when we started this, we didn't want to just make another app or another experience that was just about dating or just about meeting friends. You know, we didn't want to lighten the current situation. So then it's all negative and anxious, but what if we could turn that into a positive?
It looks like when you first sign up, it asks you a bunch of questions. And one of them is, why do you want to sign up for this app? What are some of the top answers that you've seen so far?
The answers that surprised us, one person said, this is the best time to find love. So that was surprising, like this is the best time to find love.
Yeah.
Most of them are about, I just want to meet a friend.
And as much as people want to find love, the creators think their app tackles a greater issue.
The hook is dating, but the number one reason why people sign up is actually for loneliness. Loneliness is a problem before quarantine. It got compounded during quarantine, and it's not going to go away after the coronavirus. If we're able to leave a mark and increase the happiness score for a certain demographic, a society, or whatever that is, I think that would be the most fulfilling result of this whole project.
And people from all over the world can join.
Just like the virus is global, doesn't discriminate, neither do we. This one's a positive one.
A positive we can be happy about. Connie Lee, CGTN.
Whether for work or connecting with family, video chats and meetings have probably become part of your life. So here's yet another platform where you only have to dress from the waist up. Ever since the coronavirus pandemic struck, Zoom has been taking over the world of video conferencing. Many other companies have realized that and have started offering or improving their own video calling services. Google Meet, Duo, Microsoft Teams, and others. Indian telecommunications company Reliance Jio also wants a slice of the cake and has launched its own approach to video conferencing, GeoMeet. I could explain the feature set of GeoMeet, but it boils down to this. If you know Zoom on Android, you'll almost certainly feel right at home with GeoMeet. The interface, text strings, and user conventions are heavily inspired from the video calling king. The monetization strategy is different though. While Zoom locks away some features behind a subscription, GeoMeet is completely free for now. You can have an unlimited amount of password-protected conferences with up to 100 people in 720p HD quality. Calls can be up to 24 hours long. There's multi-device login support and seamless switching, and you can enable waiting rooms so that you can hand select who's able to join your call. Sure, there are only so many ways to create a video conferencing service, but the similarities between GeoMeet and Zoom are just too striking. Compare that with other video chat apps like Google Meet, Skype, or Microsoft Teams, and you'll see vastly different approaches despite the apps offering the same functionality. GeoMeet is available on Android and iOS and the usual desktop operating systems. It has already amassed more than 100,000 installs on the Play Store, so apparently the application is gaining quite a traction. And here's some work from home tips that I learned the hard way over the past few months. 1. Organize everything, no matter what sort of software your job officially relies on for task tracking. Assume your employer provides you with some sort of corporate tool. Trello will give you a leg up on everything else by providing a flexible framework for your newly independent organization. At its core, Trello is a series of boards, each with a collection of card-filled columns, and every card represents some sort of task, a single item, a checklist of multiple items, or even an image or attachment. Trello has basically become the virtual assistant of my at-home office. In my primary board, I have columns labeled next, soon, and later. My tasks for the current day are in the next column, with color-coded labels indicating their priority. The soon column contains ideas and projects I'll be tracking in the next several days, and then the later column is where I keep concepts I'm marinating over for future use. Number 2, tune out the quarantine era noise. While working at home is nothing new for me, what has changed is the perpetual presence of a video conferencing husband and a curious homebound child. The savior of my concentration has come in the form of a service called Brain.fm, which uses scientific data to create strong neutral phase locking, special sorts of music that supposedly have the ability to remove distractions in sound and steer you into a desired mental state. It sounds crazy, but the research is apparently real, and all explanations aside, having the service's focus track piping into my brain truly does drown out the noise around me and makes me feel extra focused in a way regular white noise has never done. It's almost eerie, but it works, and hey, I'll take what I can get these days. You can try Brain FM for up to 5 sessions for free and without having to provide any payment information. After that, if you decide to stick with it, the service will cost you $7 a month or $50 a year. We're taking a short break, and there's a lot more Tech Show when we return. Welcome back to the Tech Show. In this time where we want to limit touching surfaces as much as possible, touchless communication in hospitals are a great way to combat the spread of COVID-19. And Brent Lang, CEO of technology company Vocera, has developed smart wearables that give frontline healthcare workers the ability to communicate hands-free. Welcome to the show, Brent. How are you doing?
Doing great. Thanks for having me on the show.
Thank you for joining us. Tell us about Vocera and how the company got into healthcare communications.
Well, for the last 20 years, Vocera has been on a mission to improve the lives of patients and caregivers in hospitals around the world. It's kind of an interesting story. We didn't start out as a healthcare company. In fact, when I joined as the VP of marketing almost 20 years ago, the founders thought we would sell the product to Fortune 1000 IT departments and security and help desk. But one of our early tasks was to go out and interview a bunch of different people in different industries just to understand how wearable voice communication could be applied in these different vertical markets. And I still remember the day I walked into a hospital here in Northern California and showed them the product and demonstrated the video of what we were going to be building. And one of the nurses in the room literally said, "Where have you been for the last 25 years of my career? You're going to change the way nursing is practiced around the world." And at the time, I didn't really understand what she really meant because I had not come from the healthcare industry. But long before Siri and Alexa, Vocera and the Vocera Genie, which is a voice user interface that you can use from our wearable badge, has been enabling mobile workers like nurses and doctors to connect hands-free with each other and find the right person or the right group by just issuing a simple voice command. And for the last 20 years, we've been on a mission to really improve those care flows and workflows inside of the hospital environment.
Tell us about the Smart Badge and how it's better than using a mobile phone in a hospital environment.
So the Vocera Smart Badge combines the wearability of the traditional Vocera badge with the larger screen of a traditional smartphone. And so it allows you to do traditional voice calling using someone's name or their functional role, or send text messages using the keyboard and receive alerts and alarms with patient context and situational awareness that allows a care provider to be able to do a better job of responding to the particular challenges at hand. We also have the ability, using the OK Vocera command, to actually initiate a call without touching the badge at all. And so that allows you to maintain a sterile, hands-free environment while you're using the product. And then if I turn the product sideways, you'll see the little red button on the side there. That's a dedicated panic button. And the dedicated panic button allows a care provider to call a group of people without initiating any voice commands. And unfortunately, workplace violence in hospitals is 4 times more likely to occur than in other private industry. And so what we've created here is a mechanism for nurses and other frontline care providers to be able to instantly get help if they are faced with a situation where they're under physical attack. Things like communication technology that have to be traditionally held up to your face can cause increased burden on clinicians, whereas using the Vocera Smart Badge, which you literally can just clip to your shirt, allows you to be completely hands-free while you're continuing to do your job of caring for patients or working in your environment.
That's great. What are some of the ways that the Smart Badge is especially useful in environments where COVID-19 patients are being treated?
You know, one of the things about the Smart Badge in the COVID-19 environments is that hands-free communication is particularly important. You've probably all heard about PPE, or personal protective equipment. Most people think about that PPE as being the masks or the gowns or the gloves that the frontline caregivers are wearing. But Vocera believes that communication is actually part of that personal protective equipment, because being able to get a hold of people in a hands-free manner is absolutely critical in these environments. We've demonstrated during the COVID environment our ability to prevent outbreaks in hospitals by maintaining sterile environments, protecting staff and preserving resources by reducing the number of times that a caregiver has to remove their gown or their gloves in order to communicate with someone, the ability to actually improve surge capacity. In fact, some of our customers have been using the Vocera product in temporary tents set up in their parking lot that they're doing screening for COVID patients as they come through, or in environments in the hospital or in even convention centers where they may not have been set up for traditional ICU environments in the past, but they're having to convert them over to that in order to be able to deal with the surge in patients.
Where can we learn more?
Well, if you want to learn more about the Vocera solution, the best place to go is to our website, which is vocera.com. And then there's a special section there that actually is talking about some of the special use cases we created in the COVID environment. So I think it's vocera.com/COVID will take you to a variety of videos and case studies that have been created in order to be able to talk about the specific use cases that Vocera can deliver in this non-traditional environment.
Thanks so much, Brent.
Yeah, thank you very much.
When we're back, there's more Take My Money. Now it's time for Take My Money, where this week we have a little box that can clean up one of the most disgusting things we carry with us, our phones.
A few years ago, humans cracked a light wave from the sun, discovering its special cosmic energy. Nowadays, humans use high-tech LED chips to replicate this light wave and apply it to sterilization. So far, no germs have been found on the planet that can resist it.
游动迅速。我们打开 UVC LED 消毒灯，1、2，看，藻类全部停止运动了，其他视野下的藻类也都全部停止运动了。1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10。看，草履虫停止。
The only drawback to this is that it's just not quite big enough to put my kid inside. But I will sterilize so much stuff so much more often now. UV Pod, go ahead and take my money. Thanks for joining us this week. Follow us at the Tech Show TV and join the conversation. Check you later.